How we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of FSI's NASCAR DFS content. We are doing the Truck Series race at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's going to be a fun race today. I am TK Nation, joined by Mega Rule of 31. How you doing today, Andrew?
I'm doing well. Syracuse had a big win last night, so that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, exciting for you. March Madness been a complete bust for me as a Buckeye fan. Kind of wallowing in my own pity as we have been bounced out early, but it's been fun to follow. But I'm ready for some NASCAR today. Um, we have a coupon code going on here at FSI that is 15% off any one purchase, except for the NASCAR season long, unfortunately, and the daily content. So tune in later in the video and get that coupon code word, as I will give that out to you guys. Mega, we have Kyle Busch truck race today. This is kind of like it happens often, and when it does happen, it kind of skews the entire race. So let's just talk about Kyle Busch and like kind of their lineup construction and how we're going to attack this race today.
Well, he's pretty expensive as usual. I do like that he is starting closer to the front with this one, because the other Kyle Busch races, when he was towards the back, when you have a race that has quite a few laps that you're going to. It's not a short track, so we're not talking like 400 or 500, but the amount of laps here will add up to different leader points that you're going to need to get. And when Kyle Busch is back in the field, the problem is that you have to. There's 130 laps here, so when he's back in the field, you're going to figure out like some guy up front that's going to lead early until Busch comes over and overtakes him, or you're going to miss out on those points too. So it's easier having him second, because he probably is going to get out there early and lead the race. If he doesn't have any pit issues or challenges, I think he's set up pretty well. And you know what his biggest advantage here is, right? He's not
Experience.
racing for points, which means that he doesn't have to like use the same strategy as these guys that are trying to get the stage points. He can change up his pit strategy. He's out there to win the race. So points don't matter for stages. So he can do what he wants to around those like cautions that come at the end of stages and do what's best for him and his position, and not necessarily play the game where he's trying to get those stage points.
Absolutely, Mega. You're going to crush it today. I'm looking forward to today's race. All right, so yes, we do have Kyle Busch, 14K. Is there a possibility Kyle Busch does not dominate this race? And if it is so, who is our GPP plays to pivot off of him?
I think John Hunter Nemechek, he won the last Kyle Busch race, and that was Phoenix, I believe. And it just like they just couldn't catch him. Or maybe I think it was Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah, Vegas. Yeah, the one
because
before.
they didn't
Yep.
race last week at Phoenix. But anyways, we saw it in Phoenix and Vegas, like trucks get out in clean air, and then you just couldn't catch them no matter how good your truck was. It seemed like the top groove, they put down the grip in Phoenix. Vegas, it seemed like the high line. Homestead, the same thing. And this is very similar to Homestead. It's not as bad, but it's a tire wear track. So it's pretty good, because we actually do have the Homestead race to look at as a data point to see who did well there. So I think John Hunter Nemechek starting first there. He's in a Kyle Busch truck, has been very strong. Ben Rhodes has had a decent season in the Thor sports. I think the ultimate GPP pick would probably be Austin Hill. I mean, you've got a really good truck, you've got a really good driver, but he's definitely going to be probably third or fourth, best in this field. But not to say if there's any problems, or you think it's like owner and employees, so you don't think they would be like battling so much as you'd see like the Penske cars in Cup doing and taking each other out, or like some of the other things that we've seen in Xfinity series. So I think there's going to be a lot of respect there. And it also seems like when you're talking about these trucks, the guys that run up front, where we're talking about like the ones that are starting, the Craftons, the Friesens, the Zane Smiths, the Sheldon Creeds, even like Brett Moffitt to a point. These guys seem to like work well and understand the concept and stuff. It's like having box seats at the game, and then the rest of the field's like general admission, where you've got like gum on your seat and like you're sticking to the floor and things like that. It gets so muddy in the middle there. You have like poor drivers like Haley Deegan who are coming up and trying to learn the craft, and they're trying to like be responsible, and like you got these good drivers that are out there trying to do the right thing, learn among all these like these flying jalopies that look like Vader here trying to make it around the track, and it's chaos and stuff. So but to answer your question, I think those are definitely the GPP plays if Busch doesn't win it, that are starting up front. We've got some other people in the back that might come up and get into the lead and into that, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah, I was just about to say, we do have a driver that is starting in the last position that is not just as good, but when it comes to the Truck Series, probably one of the better drivers on the track. Talk a little bit about Ross Chastain, and is he worth rostering with Kyle Busch, and is he the exact pivot off of Kyle Busch when it comes to our GPP lineups? Like, are we using Ross Chastain plus one of these GPP drivers that we just said to eliminate the Kyle Busch factor, and are we doing both in the same lineup?
My cash build, I don't have him. I think he's more of a
Yeah.
GPP play. There's definitely a lot of place differential points. You might not, with all these talented drivers up front in the time it might take him. I would say, I don't know if they're doing a competition caution, but I'd say by, probably the end of stage one, and these stages seem to go so fast in truck races because they don't have that many of them. He should probably be up close to the front. I think he possibly leads some laps. I don't think he completely dominates. He is aggressive, as we know, sometimes overly aggressive, but this year he's doing well, though. I don't think, he's had too many issues. So I think he can get up there and be someone in contention, but I don't like the roster build of having both he and Kyle Busch in the same lineup with what's left.
Yeah, it's virtually impossible to build a lineup with both of these guys. I mean, you could actually do it, but when you do, it's just pretty bad at the back end. All right, so let's give the people what they need to hear. We need value plays. We need to figure out who we're rostering with Kyle Busch today. I'll just let you go and give me 4 or 5 value plays that you feel very strongly about.
Well, the trouble is when you look at like value plays in the Truck Series, they're cheap for a reason.
Yeah,
it's because there's a good chance that they might not finish the race. And you have a lot of people like Jennifer Jove Cobb and Norm Benning who finish the race on paper, but they're finishing like 20, 30 laps down. I've never really seen it recently as much so as this year, where it's just like these trucks just don't have the speed to stay on the lead lap, and they just keep on going down further and further and further. So yes, they're not going to have the DNF. Yes, they're going to finish the race, but they're really not going to, do much. So probably going to avoid a lot of those people. But some people I'm looking at is Brett Holmes. He's a cell phone team. He's starting 35th, and he's only 5,900. So I think he's a good value down there. Derek Kraus is a good driver. He has had a bad start to the season, some bad luck, got caught up in some wrecks and has some issues, but he's starting 29th. He's definitely someone that could probably get up into the top 15, maybe even sniff the top 10. So he's another one that I like. Let's see, who else do we like for value? Like I said, there's some guys in the middle like Robar and Barn and even like Fogelman. They're like starting in the 20s. That's a little bit too high. Carson Hocevar, I think he will learn and he'll get better. He's like one of those people that gets stuck in the middle and usually ends up in like a crash. And so it's hard to trust. Like he's 5,100 starting 17th. That's too high up. Austin Wayne Self, like he's been one that it's like there's 2-3 named guys, Austin Wayne Self and Tommy Joe Martins that like who in Xfinity, who's like pretty much the same guy. They do well. They're usually cheap, but he's starting way too far up. He's starting 12th. So that's kind of a little bit scary. But last night, if you made your lines and you didn't notice this, Kyle Wright was supposed to drive the O2 truck for Young Motorsports starting 18th. He's been replaced with Josh Berry. Josh Berry has done a really good job in Xfinity. He's got caught up in some wrecks and stuff. And again, he's one of the ones that's, middle of the pack driver and still learning. But I think here with his talent level in this truck, I think at 4,900 starting 18th, he's definitely somebody that you can plug into a cash game and feel pretty safe about.
I couldn't agree more. Barry is definitely a good driver for the 8-car Junior Motorsports. Famously known for the double birds that he was given the the truck or the Xfinity car last
Santino
week.
Ferrucci or whoever he thought ran him off the road. That was I love you in Italian, I think, or like whatever.
That's all they were doing. They were just sign language in Italian.
I love you, man. So
that was really fun.
There are some other storylines in this. Bill Lester is returning. He was like kind of a truck legend. He used to run with like John Hornacek, or who was the Napa truck that used to dominate.
I'm
thinking like the Utah Jazz guy, but Mike Skinner, like
go ahead.
We're talking he used to, these people that used to dominate in the early like 2000s, the NASCAR Truck Series, and actually I think some of these guys are probably still racing back then, like maybe I
was gonna say that, and maybe like Matt Crafton.
Yeah, because I remember when I was looking up his data points, like I saw those. Was it Hornish?
Oh gosh,
I'll have to look it up. But anyways, this guy hasn't raced since 07, and he said a lot of things came together to give him an opportunity to come out. I think it's more a novelty thing. Like the guy, I don't know what he's been doing in the last, we're talking like 14 years. That's a long time. So, but I think he's gonna, like, people are like, oh wow, he's back, and like it's like the reunion tour or something, and they'll buy into it. GPP, but I don't like it, especially they have him at like 6,200. That's too much. Ryan Truex will probably be very popular, also starting 32nd. He's got a decent, he's Nice. I don't know. Nice has had their issues. But
they've been hit or miss.
72. That's a little too high.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ryan Ellis, I think, will be pretty high owned also, and Ogata. Those guys are starting close to the back. I don't mind them, but again, I don't know if they'll have the speed. But the final guy I'll talk about is the 39th guy, 7,000, Spencer Davis. He's in a Toyota. He's another self-owned team. I think he's definitely a solid guy. 7,000 is a little bit high for somebody that usually is starting that far back, but I think he's priced 7,000 because they know that he can definitely get up probably into like the top 20, get you 10, 15 differential points, and be one that you can get in your lineup. So he's not going to fit in the Ross Chastain, Kyle Busch lineup, but if you're going more balanced, like we said, finding that guy that's in the like a Chandler Smith who's only like 75, or a Todd Gillian who's like right outside the top 10 and could move up and get, like 5 differential points and still be able to help you balance your lineup out. I think that's like a better move.
Couldn't agree more, man. Well done breaking this field down. Kyle Busch truck race with some value. I think everybody's pretty pleased on how to fill out their lineups. Is there anything else to add as far as the field? If not, we'll close it up with our promo code.
No, I think there's very few trucks that I'm fading. Like I said, it's probably going to be Brett Moffitt, just so he's not driving the same truck he had. He's got an easy starting top 10. Hocevar, not too big on. I said some of those middle guys, like in the mid-teens there, that even though they haven't priced like around 5K, are just starting way too high. Anderson, Spencer Boyd, Jennifer Joe Cobb, Benning. I think eliminate those and good luck.
Yep. Well done, my guy. Appreciate that. And for all the listeners that have been following along, the promo code for the 15% off purchase is YouTube March. If you guys want to write that down, YouTube March. That is for 15% off any one purchase, except for the daily content and NASCAR season long. But VIP is out there, and if you want to get into Mega's MLB projections and as well as our NASCAR projections for this weekend, and you want that core lineup projection package, you can get 15% off that purchase for any weekly, monthly subscription for the VIP and or NASCAR, MLB, PGA, anything, you name it. We got it here. That code word, YouTube March. All right, Mega. Appreciate your breakdown for today's truck race. It's going to be a good one, and looking forward to doing some cores for that later on. And as always, guys, you can like the video, comment below, and subscribe to the channel. You can find us in the Discord for the projections and the core lineups today. You can find that on our Twitter handle at FSI_DFS. As TK Nation here with Mega Rule 31, we are signing out, and we'll catch you for some Xfinity and NASCAR later on today. Thanks, guys.
See ya.